You're watching TVC Breakfast, and let's bring you the headlines on Nigerian newspapers now. And let's begin with the Nation newspaper. The Nation has a letter to Nigerians at Democracy Day session by the president there, and it has all of that, sending a strong message to Nigerians. And some of the headlines there: PDP panel okays Wike as Atiku's running mate. Ugwanyo Kowa Udom dropped. That is what the Nation newspaper has in there. And then from there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper says, Muslim ticket, can others warn parties as Buhari meets governors? PDP names Atiku's VP Thursday. Okay, a Muslim ticket, dangerous, declaration of war, can warns parties and vows stiff resistance. What matters is responsible government. Hunger knows no religion. Tinubu's group is saying this. Constitution doesn't stipulate religion as a criterion for choosing VP, says Governor Uzodimma. Okay, all that on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Daily Independent is where we go next. Buhari rejects pressure to impose running mate on Tinubu. He takes decisions without a cabal. The presidency is saying this. Okay. Buhari rejects pressure to impose running mate on Tinubu. Right. And then the Daily Times is next, and it says APC presidential primary. Buhari's decisions not influenced by cabal. That's the presidency is saying this. It says the president's decision to allow open contest at the event shows he's far from an autocratic leader. That's what the Daily Times has. From there, let's go to Leadership newspaper. Leadership says running mates. APC defers to Tinubu. Wike may emerge as Atiku's VP. Governors won't influence Tinubu's running mate. Uzodimma is saying this, and parties in rush to meet Friday deadline. And that's what the Leadership newspaper has. And he also has the open letter to Nigerians there from the president. From there, let's go to First News. First News says, running mates, PDP committee recommends Wike as Buhari APC governors meet on Tinubu's. Decision resides with Tinubu, not governors. Uzodimma is saying this. All right, that's the First News. Daily Trust is next and says 2 days to INEC's deadline. Wike wins PDP Advisory Council poll as running mate. Tinubu would choose his VP. Uzodimma is saying this as the governor of Imo State. APC governor's mom, after meeting Buhari, president takes decisions without cabal. Garba Shehu is saying this. We're not in alliance talks. NNPP is saying this. Recall that there were reports in some quarters that there were, moves to create an alliance between the NNPP and the Labour Party at the time. All right, from there, let's go to this Nigeria. Presidential running mate, PDP zeroes in on Wike, APC in a fix over joint Muslim ticket as INEC closes window on Friday. That's this Nigeria. Blueprint is next as National Assembly frets over indirect primaries. PDP may settle for Wike as Atiku's running mate to make position known in 48 hours. Less than 3,000 shouldn't determine fate of 200 million Nigerians. National Assembly saying that. All right, Nigeria News Direct. Oyedepo, Buhari's aid in war of words over corruption index. All right, that's Oyedepo rather. All right, Buhari's aid in war of words over corruption index as Nigeria's ranking worsens under Buhari. That's what News Direct has. From there, let's go to national economy. Political spending push money in circulation to 3.3 trillion naira. Okay, that's the national economy. Business Day says oil price rally upsets Nigeria's finances. Okay, and then the Saudi Gazette from Saudi Arabia says Biden to visit Saudi Arabia. Okay, President Joe Biden of the United States to visit Saudi Arabia soon. All right, that's the Saudi Gazette. And then The Guardian, this is from the UK, European ruling throws Rwanda plan into chaos. European ruling throws Rwandan plan into chaos. Okay, That's from the international scene in there. All right. The issue of this week is quite. This week narrows down on the issues of deadline, like we said earlier on, and the issue of running mates has been on the front burner. Who becomes the running mate to the various political candidates or flag bearers of the various political parties? That's the issue right now. But the point there is, where is the position of the candidate, the flag bearer himself? Where does he stand in the choice that he wants?
A very interesting point, because in the final analysis, it is who the candidate is comfortable with that will help determine who the candidate will be. You will see that in many states in Nigeria, you have governors who are usually not happy with their deputies. But that is mostly because the deputies were actually chosen for them. So what the governors do in most cases to say, okay, he will be my deputy, I will accept him as deputy, but I'm not going to be close to him. So what happened in Oyo State recently, that the deputy governor
defected.
Yes, defected, resigned and defected. We saw that in Ondo State, the same thing happened. The deputy left. So Akredolo has a different deputy for a second term. It is because of balancing. And balancing has become one of the problems in Nigeria, that sometimes we feel that we can balance the candidate himself into conformity. And you can't force that. You cannot. One of the greatest things about human nature is that you cannot force one person to love another. No matter how you try.
Exactly.
Parents have tried to force children, societies, classes have tried to force people, a man to love a girl, or a girl to love a man. See what happened in the Royal Palace in England? Eventually, the prince had to find his own bride, his romantic level. So that's the same thing going on. So that is why even in APC, they're saying that the president doesn't want to impose a running mate, and that there was a meeting between the governors, especially the northern governors, and the president, and they came out saying, Mom, there has to be some understanding too from the point of view of the candidate. The candidate must win the election. I must get the buy-in of all those who are going to be the foot soldiers and the generals on the battlefield. So even the candidate must feel some kind of romantic compulsion to embrace what everybody is happy with. When you guys get home as a couple, then you can decide whether the woman will be watching a romance movie, and then you go upstairs and watch Premier League. And then discover that by the time you are tired watching it and she's tired watching it, then you can come and look at each other, and then you say, well, I want to go to sleep. So maybe you want to go to sleep.
Or whatever you want to do afterwards.
One is sleepy looking north, the other is sleepy looking south. But the most important thing for the candidate usually is Machiavellian.
Yeah.
Let us win this election, then we can talk about love later.
Absolutely, but that chemistry is very important.
Yes.
In the APC, for instance, now, of course, there were camps within the ruling party, especially towards the build-up towards the election, the primary election, that eventually saw the emergence of Asiwaju Tinubu. For example, now I mentioned earlier that Plateau State Governor is also being wooed, so to speak, just like several other persons, including Yakubu Dogara and, of course, others. But then looking at the personality of Mr. Lalong now and the choices reportedly made, supporting another person other than Asiwaju Tinubu, if one would consider that might also be a minus for him. How would he work? How would he work with Asiwaju Tinubu if indeed he is even considered? Of course, yes, there are hard choices that one must make, because the vice presidential candidate must be one who will win, who has his own, standing wherever he is from. So, of course, these things are practical, these things are commonsensical, but then that degree of chemistry is key.
Well, in politics, is you have to be pragmatic.
Absolutely.
So that's why Ashwaju will look at the whole thing. He will say, well, who will help me win? That's the most important.
Exactly.
It's not about love.
Exactly.
They're like the poet Magbik Darwish who said, do not ask for me my love, the love I once had for thee. Is it not because it is not about that love now. It's about I like you very much.
Yes, I like you
very much. But please,
there's an assignment here.
This is my business. Don't come near it.
This is where we're going.
Yeah. So don't come near it. So that is the way that is it. And then the candidate must understand that he is the candidate. He must exercise what the American novelist in his novel Freedom, Jonathan Franzen calls the courage of your own privilege. You must be able to exercise the courage of your own privilege. Right? You must have that skill to say, after all, this is my candidacy. This is my job. He's going to be my partner. I'm going to have to give the final say. And I think there was a report that said that, the candidate, we still have to give the final say. Even though PDP has said that the advisory council has said that it's going to be Wike, they are still going to meet with the candidate Atiku, and then they'll have to decide, well, if you say it's Wike, these are my points. What are your points? How can we
reconcile and balance things up?
As they say, the politics is the art of the possible. Was it Foster Dulles that said that the former Secretary of State of the U.S. who said, let us start on the principle that everything that is necessary is possible.
That's nice.
So never say never.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the point there is, as we wait, of course, like we said, names are being bandied here and there, based on different reasons and so on. But at the end of the day, the political party and the candidate will say, who is going to help me win votes from that area and from this area and all of that. Now, you mentioned Lalong earlier on. Of course, the issues with Lalong is that he's from the North Central. And being from the North Central, that geopolitical divide already, technically, it doesn't favor him when we're looking at the political calculations. When it looks like this thing is going towards the northeast. Of course, if we're talking about within the governors, he is one of the governors, and the balance between the Muslim-Christian ticket, of course, all of that is still being said here and there, but ultimately, who will help to win the election?